The wine glass shattered against the marble floor with a deafening crash, sending crimson shards skittering like blood across the polished surface. In a blur of fury, she lunged at me, her manicured nails clawing into my uniform, ripping it apart with a savage tear. "You pathetic little waitress!" she screeched, her voice echoing through the hushed dining room like a thunderclap. "I'll make sure you never work again, I'll ruin you." But oh, she had no clue. The security cameras were silently capturing every vicious second, and my billionaire husband was watching from his perch upstairs, his eyes narrowing as her own twisted secret unraveled before him. What you're about to dive into on Midnight Tales will jolt you like a live wire, a whirlwind of betrayal, revenge, and karma that hits harder than a freight train. This tale twists sharper than a mountain road at midnight, and trust me, the ending will slam into you like nothing you've ever seen. If you're hooked already, smash that subscribe button right now, because stories like this on Midnight Tales will leave you breathless and begging for more. Let's plunge into the shadows of this unforgettable saga. My name is Christina, and just 3 months ago, I believed I had it all wrapped up in a perfect bow. I owned the Golden Palm, one of the city's most elite restaurants, where A-list celebrities sipped vintage wines and sealed multi-million-dollar deals over candlelit tables laden with gourmet masterpieces. My husband, Daniel, a billionaire tech visionary, was my rock, pouring his unwavering support into my dreams without a second thought. Our life was a glossy magazine spread, luxurious nights, glamorous events, and a business empire that sparkled under the city lights. But perfection? It's just an illusion waiting to crack. That's when the anonymous letters slithered into my world like venomous snakes. The first one appeared on a crisp Tuesday morning, slipped under my office door like a whispered threat. The handwriting was eerily neat, almost elegant, but the words chilled me to the bone. "Your staff is suffering, and you don't even care. Some of your customers are monsters, and you're letting it happen. If you don't fix this, I will." My pulse quickened as I reread it, wondering if it was a prank from a bitter ex-employee or a sly extortion ploy. I shrugged it off at first, tucking it away in a drawer. But then the second letter arrived, more pointed, more insidious. And the third. It detailed horrors I couldn't ignore, customers allegedly belittling waitstaff, hurling inappropriate slurs, even veiled threats of violence. My stomach twisted. How could this be happening in my haven of elegance? I grilled my managers, demanding answers, but they painted a rosy picture. Carlos, my head of operations, flashed his reassuring smile. "Complaints are at an all-time low, Christina. Everything's golden." But the numbers didn't add up, and the mystery gnawed at me like a relentless shadow. That's when the wild idea struck, a spark of desperation mixed with determination. I would go undercover as a waitress in my own restaurant. Daniel nearly choked on his coffee when I told him over breakfast. "Christina, you're the queen of a multi-million-dollar empire. Why on earth would you masquerade as an employee?" His brow furrowed with concern, but I couldn't shake the dread coiling in my gut. Something rotten lurked beneath the surface, and the only way to unearth it was to step into the trenches myself. For weeks, I prepared like a secret agent on a high-stakes mission. I practiced balancing trays heavy with crystal glasses and porcelain plates, memorized every intricate detail of our menu, from the truffle-infused risotto to the decadent chocolate lava cake. I even enrolled in acting classes, honing a persona that was worlds away from my polished self. Enter Kate Morrison, a wide-eyed college student scraping by on part-time wages to fund her tuition dreams. I transformed completely, dyeing my sleek auburn hair a dull mousy brown, slipping in colored contacts to dull my vibrant eyes, and donning plain, forgettable outfits that screamed ordinary. Even glancing in the mirror, I barely recognized the stranger staring back. My own mother would have walked right past me on the street. Those first days on the floor were a revelation, a brutal awakening to the grind my staff endured. My feet ached from endless hours of weaving through crowded tables, my arms burned from hoisting platters of steaming entrees. I gained a profound respect for their resilience, the smiles they plastered on despite the chaos, the grace under pressure. Most patrons were charming, tipping generously and chatting amiably. But a few. They treated us like ghosts, invisible servants meant to cater to their every whim without a whisper of gratitude. Snaps for service, curt demands, eyes that never met yours. Still, nothing screamed sinister enough to match those chilling letters. I began to doubt my instincts, wondering if I'd overreacted. Then, like a storm cloud rolling in, Jessica Patterson stormed into my world. I'll never erase that first sighting. It was a bustling Thursday evening, the Golden Palm alive with the hum of laughter, clinking silverware, and the sizzle of gourmet flames from the open kitchen. Jessica swept in like a queen claiming her throne, draped in a fiery red silk dress that hugged her curves and shimmered under the chandeliers, probably worth a small fortune. Her blonde hair cascaded in perfect waves, diamonds glinting at her neck and wrists, but it was her aura that hit hardest, pure, unfiltered entitlement, radiating like a force field. Flanked by 3 adoring friends who hung on her every syllable, she demanded the best table without a please or thank you. From the instant she settled in, the demands flew, snapping fingers for water, condescending sighs over menu options. But what unnerved me most was her fixation on me. While her companions gossiped about celebrity scandals and luxury vacations, Jessica's piercing gaze locked onto me like a laser. "You're new here, aren't you?" she purred as I approached with notepad in hand, her tone more inquisitive than casual, like she was dissecting a specimen. "Yes, Mom. Just started recently," I replied, channeling Kate's timid voice. "Where did you work before?" she pressed, and suddenly her friends fell silent, ears perked. I spun my rehearsed tale of college woes and part-time struggles, but her skeptical smirk told me she wasn't buying it wholesale. All evening, she probed, questions about my family, my apartment, my aspirations, turning small talk into an interrogation that left me squirming. As the nights blurred into weeks, Jessica became a fixture, always requesting my section. Her visits escalated from annoying to tormenting, convoluted orders with endless tweaks, dishes sent back for flaws that didn't exist, constant nitpicking that chipped away at my patience. It felt deliberate, like she was probing for cracks, testing how far she could push before I shattered. Whispers from the staff confirmed my suspicions. Maria, a seasoned waitress with eyes that had seen it all, pulled me aside one shift. "Watch out for her, Kate. Jessica's poison. She's driven 3 girls out already, makes them quit in tears." When I asked why management turned a blind eye, Maria sighed. "She drops cash like confetti and name drops big shots. They won't risk it." This mirrored the letter's accusations perfectly, toxic patrons running rampant. Could Jessica be the puppet master behind the threats? I needed proof, so I sharpened my vigilance, shadowing her subtly during shifts. The bombshell dropped in my 4th week, as I wiped down tables in the dim back corner. Jessica lingered near the ladies' room, phone pressed to her ear, her voice a low hiss that carried just enough. "The plan's unfolding beautifully," she murmured. "I've broken 3 already, and this new one's teetering on the edge. Once morale crumbles, the whole operation implodes." A chilling laugh escaped her. "By the time I'm through, they'll beg to offload it. We'll snatch it up for chump change." My heart hammered like a drum in my chest. This wasn't random cruelty, it was sabotage, a calculated strike to tank my empire. But for whom? And why us? I dove deeper, noting her sneaky snaps of the decor, her sly inquiries into our suppliers and schedules, her attempts to slip into staff-only zones. She was a spy in stilettos. Tensions peaked the next week when she arrived primed for war, entourage in tow, her demeanor sharper, more predatory. The orders flowed, exorbitant wines, impossible customizations. As I served her Cabernet, she accidentally swiped the glass, spilling it in a purple cascade over the table and her dress. "You clumsy fool!" she bellowed, drawing every eye. "This is couture, worth more than your yearly scraps." I knew it was staged, I'd seen her flick. Apologizing calmly, I offered cleanup, but she erupted, standing for maximum drama. "Touch me. Ha. You'll pay dearly, you worthless wretch. The room froze, patrons gawking, staff petrified. Let me fetch the manager, I said evenly. But she scoffed, your manager's useless. I want you fired, now. And compensation. Then, her blunder, yanking her phone. I'm calling the owner. My connections will crush you. As she dialed, she gripped my uniform, tearing it viciously. Look at you, in rags like the nobody you are. Humiliation burned, but I held firm. Unbeknownst to her, Daniel monitored from above, fury building. He descended like a guardian angel, or avenger. Problem here. His voice sliced the tension. Jessica whirled. Who are you? Another peon. Daniel's smile was ice. Daniel Stone. And this is my wife, Christina Stone, the owner. Her face blanched, empire crumbling. Wife. But she's the owner, he confirmed. And cameras caught your assault. Stammering excuses, she faltered, but rage resurfaced. You think you're smart. I know your secrets, deals, finances, marriage. Cross me, and it's over. I demanded, who pulls your strings? Her bitter cackle, someone craving revenge, served ice cold. Daniel brandished his phone, recorded. Police will love this extortion tale. Her mask shattered. You don't get it. This place ruined me. Robert Martinez, your ex-partner, was my husband. He ditched me for his secretary, left me penniless in the divorce. It clicked, Robert had sold out post-scandal. Jessica's vendetta targeted his legacy through us. So you terrorized innocents. I accused. Tears flowed, I wanted him to suffer like I did. He walked away, I burned it down. Police arrived, cuffing her amid gasps. This isn't over. She spat. But it was. Evidence piled up, letters traced, footage, confession. Charged with harassment, extortion, mischief, she got 18 months, friends fled, status evaporated. Yet the real triumph. Transformation. I rolled out staff protections, better conditions, harassment hotlines. Morale soared, letters ceased. Maria ascended to assistant manager, you didn't just say you cared, you lived it. Daniel teased my Oscar-worthy act, but our bond strengthened. The Golden Palm boomed with positive buzz, undercover heroics drew crowds, respect flowed. This ordeal unveiled empathy's might, understanding your team's battles breeds unbreakable loyalty. Jessica's cruelty backfired, exposing her void of character amid her riches. Karma didn't tiptoe, it thundered. Remember, that nobody you scorn might be somebody, or simply human, deserving dignity. If this Midnight Tales thriller ignited your sense of justice, crush that like button, share with a friend needing the reminder. What would you do in Jessica's shoes? Spill in the comments. Subscribe for more pulse-pounding tales on Midnight Tales, shocking twists await. Can you believe she hunted, only to become the prey? See you next time.